Hello, this is Prepper Shadowhawk, and I am making a balm today. Excuse me, I'm kind of out of it a little bit, tired. We went out and gathered some fresh plantain. I also used some of the dry herbs that I had around here, some yarrow. And I've also got some oh god, I am tired, some camphor down inside here. And I used olive oil, first cold press, so it's a cold press olive oil. And I'm allowing it to heat up right now to draw out the oils and the herbs. What I'm going to end up making here will be a skin balm, something that you can put on to get rid of irritations, itching, dryness, scalp, things like that. And I'm also going to add some vitamin E in it in a minute after I get done with separating it so that we can get the chunky stuff out. But what I'm going to do to use to separate it is this. We have these little yogurts, and if you look at the size of the jar that I'm actually going to make the sab in, it fits perfectly into the top of the jar. See? There you go. So I'm going to stop and poke some holes inside the bottom of this using my trusty assist open knife. And I'll be right back with you. Okay, as you can see, I put many little holes into the bottom so that it will drain, but it will catch all of the impurities, all the leaves and all the herb and such as that. Gotta make sure. Okay, it's still not warm to the touch. We want it to get warm to the touch so that it'll actually start drawing out the oils and the different herbs. Once it gets warm to the touch, I'll come back and let you see what I do from there. Okay, as you see, we are starting to get some steam going, but it's not yet hot enough or warm enough. It still feels cool to the touch. So we're going to give it a couple more minutes and come back and see how it is. Okay, the glass is starting to get a little warm to the touch, which means that the oil inside of it, which is getting warm now, is going to need to be set to the side. So we'll take it off of this burner, set it straight over here, and let it cool down with a lid on it. Now, I put a lid on it because I don't want any evaporation. Because the evaporation of the oils right now would mean that the good stuff, the steam from the oil of the plants, would leave. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move that to the side right now, and I'm going to show you a little trick I've got. What I do is I take one of those yogurt cups with holes in it, I put the material down inside, I take another with no holes in it with some water in it, and I set it on top of it and I let it press. It's my way, it's what I call my cup water press. And you can do this out in the woods. You carry a few of these yogurt containers with you, and hey, it takes care of business. And just to show you what I'm saying by a few, give me 1 second. This is a small stack, one stack of the cups, and we keep these just for this purpose. You've got 2 cups for each time that you want to make it. And you can clean them and reuse them because they are plastic. So remember, these are great items to use just for this purpose, because you can make a water press out of it, where the more water you actually add to it, the harder it presses, and you can add more water to it as you need for the weight to press it out of the herbs. I'll show you how it works in a minute. Oh, and a few minutes ago I made a mistake. I said comfrey. It's actually chamomile that I used. I'm sorry about that. We all make mistakes and have our tongues tangled when it happens. I happen to have taken a muscle relaxer a little while ago because my back was really starting to ache. So give me a minute, and as soon as this cools down enough, because it's still good and warm, and I want it to cool down to room temperature again, but once it cools down enough, we'll start putting it through the press. And then I'll show you how to make a salve out of it. And this salve, you can say that you have a toothache, you can actually rub it on your tooth and on the gum surrounding it, and it'll help remove the toothache as well. And because of the fact that it's got plantain, which is an antiseptic, it can also help get rid of an abscess, just so that you know. Okay, now we're back. I'm going to open up the jar. Hold on, I'm going to get some help. There we go. Thank you, Pia. Pepper Pia. Now I'm going to pour it. And I'm going to get the oil going through here. As you can see, it's putting the olive oil and the mixture of the other oils into here. And I'm letting it strain. And with the way that I slotted this, it should be straining rather well. So, give me a second. I'm going to stop now. I'm going to look. Yep, see? Straining very nicely, and as you can see, it's very dirty. But it's straining very nicely. Okay, when it's time to use the press, I will come back to you. Until then, I'm going to go ahead and just let this strain out like it is. Okay, here we go. Now I've gotten most of the oil out of this batch, but I'm going to show you what I've done. See, I sat this down and I started filling it with water, and it's making a compression. Now I'm going to put more water in it. I gotta have a glass. Whoa. Oops, some dirty dishes. I'm in trouble now. I'm going to fill up the glass with water. My coffee maker. Yum. Coffee. Coffee, coffee, coffee. Now I pour the water into the piece. That puts more weight on it. And now I'll come back in a little bit and see how much more stuff I've gotten out of that, and then I'll get rid of it and put this into it. Okay, this is the last of the product. See? Oh, there we go. It's empty. It's been in here long enough that you can see it's compressed. I've walked it around. Almost a full cup of water in there. This is what I've gotten out of it. And I'm about to start my double boiler up again, which is a pot of water. And I'm going to put the jar back in it, and this time I'm going to let it go, and I'm going to let it go, and I'm going to let it go with the lid on it. And what that's going to do is it's going to let it start thickening up, because I want it to get the consistency of like a Neosporin. So I'll get back with you once it's gotten to that point, which will be probably about another 15-20 minutes. Okay, now we're heating it up again while it's pure, and I've put a little bit of beeswax in there so that I can see when it starts to melt. And then I'm going to add pieces of beeswax as I go. so that I can make sure that it gets to the consistency that I want. Once it starts melting, I'll come back and I'll let you see what I'm doing. Okay, I'm starting to take some of the wax now, and I'm just going to go ahead and drop it in here, let it start melting, and then I'm going to get the consistency I want with the wax, with the oil mixed, and it'll be like a Neosporin, and I'll show that to you once it's done. This will take about another 20 minutes. Okay, it's at the right consistency now when it gets dried onto your fingers. So I'm going to bottle it up into these, and we'll be able to use it as needed. I'll show you guys my garden tomorrow because I've got plants in it and they're doing great. I'll talk to you later. This is Shadowhawk, over and out. Okay, here we go. Now you can see it. It's like a waxy paste that you can put on. You can even use this on your lips. You can use it on a tooth, say that you're having tooth problems, like toothaches or something like that, because of the fact that it has the plantain in it. It actually helps to numb it some. You can use it on cuts, scrapes, you know, nothing real deep. It's more of a topical type thing. It's good for rashes. And out of that I was able to make 1, 2, almost 3 complete containers. So that was a pretty good deal. Now I'm going to take you outside and let you see my garden. I'm going to go ahead and do it tonight and not put it off till tomorrow. So here we go. Okay, here we go. I'll let you see. My little tomato plants are coming along very nicely. They're growing quite a bit. When I put them in here, they were just little seedlings. Now they're already getting some pretty decent foliage on them. Pretty decent looking tops. My butter lettuce is coming out really nicely. A couple more tomato plants back here. I'm trying a carrot over here just out of pure try. I don't know if it'll work, but we're going to try it and see. I got, what I did was, until I can get out and actually do some fishing, I went ahead and got myself some goldfish. I think they were 15 cents a piece. So we're going to see how they work out. And if I kill them, oh well, they were 15 cents a piece. But anyway, as you can see, this is an update as well on my gardening. And it looks like it's coming along pretty well because these plants have only been in here since Tuesday. Today's Saturday, so basically 5 days, 4 days. See, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 5 days. So we'll see what happens. I'll keep you posted on them and let you know.